Hey babes, welcome to my channel. My name is Ayana. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I am a recent college grad. I graduated from university last year, May of 2024. I majored in finance and now I work for a management consulting firm full-time. I was once a stressed graduate. I know how it is. You're just kind of surfing the web to answer that big question. What do I want to do when I graduate? And so my hopes for this video is to give you a little bit of insight on my experience with getting a consulting job, how I like it, what I do, those kind of things. Please note that every hiring experience is different. Every management consulting and or consulting job or position is different. This is just me giving my 2 cents. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into today's topic. First, I'm gonna answer the question, what is consulting and what do consultants actually do? Right, that's pretty much the first question that comes to mind when you're looking at consulting as an option. So consulting is the practice of offering expertise or guidance to a business or an individual to help them solve a problem. Therefore, consultants work closely with managers and business owners to help them identify, address, and overcome any obstacles that company may face in their efforts to reach a company goal, objective, and or mission. So now that we know what consulting is, you may be thinking, oh, okay, that sounds really interesting, but what area of consulting would I be interested in? What kind of consulting can I go into? And how do I actually get into consulting as an entry level or as a young professional? Well, first, I'm here to tell you that if you are interested, you are very fortunate because there are so many different types. You have tech, marketing and social media, HR, operations, sales, legal, strategy, management, economic, finance in particular. I mean, there are so many different areas that you can go into. So not only can you start anywhere in consulting, but you can take that experience and really go anywhere because the skills that you learn are highly transferable to other jobs and positions. So management consultants look at the holistic picture, how to improve the organization as a whole, how to make sure that all of the working parts are working properly by addressing operational issues, leadership development, and or strategic planning across various areas of business, such as finance, HR, sales, operations, marketing, etc. So you kind of get to dibble and dabble, whereas if you were just a sales consultant, maybe you would just be hired to focus on and improve the sales process. This pro alone is actually one of the main reasons why I was interested in being a management consultant, because as a finance major, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go the corporate banking route or if I wanted to go the advisory route. And so as a consultant, you're really exposed to a lot and you're able to kind of figure out what you like. You can still kind of have that prestigious job title. You can still start your career off in a lucrative industry. You are able to really figure out with hands-on experience what you want to pivot into next. So I really think consulting and or management consulting is a really great way to sharpen your skill set as a young professional. But on the other hand, if it's something that you don't end up loving, you still have really great exit opportunities and most likely the networking to be able to do so. So the burning question, what do I actually do? Because I mentioned that management consulting and or consulting requires years of expertise, right? You are offering advisory service, recommendations, guidance to businesses that have real life problems that I know nothing about as a 23-year-old that just graduated from FSU last year. So this is what I actually do as a management consultant. Where I come in as an entry level is I work with my senior consultants and I help them streamline our clients' financial management operations. So anything to do with financial management operations, we are there to assist the client with their needs. So for example, the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, it varies from analyzing their data and helping do some data cleanup, understanding their financial processes. Something that I do a lot is process documentation. So I may sit with an accountant and learn about a specific process that they do, a specific report that they run, and I document that process. The benefit of that is that you get to literally learn how to do what they do. And I would say that that is part of the learning curve. We often develop new procedures or more efficient procedures for them to follow that helps them get their job done a lot faster. Okay, I apologize if the camera is in a different position. My first mic died, but I do have another one, so I had to switch that out. So if things look a little shifted, that's why, but we can continue. I am even starting to work on some things that touch financial reporting, budget. As a consultant, you kind of just show up and you solve today's problems. I typically have at least 2 to 3 meetings a day, either with internal or external stakeholders. I'm doing a lot of work in Excel, I'm reading a lot, and I am asking a lot of questions. That is probably the main thing that I do all day. I probably ask a lot of questions. So if you're someone that likes to ask questions, then you'll probably be a good management consultant. You get to question everybody, which is pretty cool because you can't always do that. Now, the one thing I do love about consulting is that no day is the same. If you are someone that learns fast and or you just don't like really doing the same thing every day, you don't really want to come into work and know what you're up against, then I definitely recommend consulting for you. However, if you prefer to just be responsible over a specific process and or you have a very specific role or group of responsibilities, then I do not recommend consulting because you will not get that kind of stability. Absolutely not, like absolutely not. So just to kind of give an overview of what my work dynamic looks like and how I operate as a management consultant. So said business hires my management consulting firm. They say, okay, we want you to solve X number of problems in X section or X number of sections or company-wide. It really depends on the contract. That said contract is also referred to as an engagement or a project or a set of deliverables. So what happens is different individuals from that management consulting firm is put on that project or engagement. So the average number of engagements that a entry-level consultant like me would be on, I would say would be around 2 to 4. It kind of depends on how big or small the engagement is. Some engagements, there are only like 2 or 3 deliverables. They're very specific. And then you have other types of engagements that last a little bit longer. As of right now, for me, I am on 3 engagements. 2 are smaller. I would say they have specific deliverables, whereas the other one, it is more of a process improvement engagement. I mean, like overall. So there's a lot of work to be done, and that is going to last a lot longer than the other ones that I have. And so now that I've told you a little bit more about what I actually do and how I support the team as an entry-level consultant, I'll share a little bit with you about my background and my hiring experience. And so, as I said, I graduated from Florida State University and I majored in finance. I would say that my hiring experience was a little bit different, and I hope that for some people that may be in similar situations that I was, that this gives you some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. So to give light on that, I was a full-time college student and I also worked full-time. And so if I was not in class, I was at a job. So I just had a lot of actual work experience that wasn't really relevant to my major. I had only joined one organization because that's all I really had time for, and I barely could make the meetings for that. And so how did I actually get the job? My resume was not as developed as I would like. I didn't get any special internships. I didn't volunteer. I wasn't part of any research program. I went to class and I worked, okay? And while that's not a bad thing, as a lot of you know, it is very competitive out here. And unfortunately, going to school full-time and working full-time is not always enough. I feel like it's getting better. More and more companies are starting to loosen up on their requirements for how flashy the resume should look, but I would say for the most part, it's not enough, especially in majors like finance, where perfect resumes just fly off the walls. And so in my case, and this was really involuntarily, but at my job, I ended up rubbing shoulders with a lot of people and a lot of different kinds of people. The most recent job that I had actually allowed me to spend a lot of time around doctors, lawyers, lobbyists, politicians, business owners, managers, certified professionals, licensed professionals, and I was very fortunate to be able to be in that position. Do you want to know what I did? I was a server. The typical college job, I was a server. I was actually different kinds of servers. And so I'm saying that because if you have to get that serving job, do not let that discourage you, okay? Because as a server, what you may not realize and or may not be able to appreciate in the midst of the craziness and the long hours and the tired hours and the stress is that the very people that you are serving are the business owners, the managers, the accountants, the licensed professionals, the certified professionals in that community. So you are rubbing shoulders with people that could potentially get you the position that you're looking for. And that's something that you should really use to your advantage. Get to know the people that you see regularly, right? Get to know the regulars, ask about what they do. People really love to talk about themselves. And I know a lot of college grads actually that got their job, and some of them their dream job, just from asking people what they did whenever they came in. Get them talking about how they started, because you just never know who's hiring. You just never know, even if they aren't hiring, you just never know what door they're willing to open for you later on. And that was my case. So I worked a job, I was a server, and I was a server there for maybe 2 to 3 years. And so for the majority of the time that I was in college, I was at this one job. And I had served a variety of families, a variety of different parties. I mean, just tons of people. And what I did not realize is that there was a particular family that I was always serving. Well, fast forward to the career fair. I'm a senior. I have low hopes, to be honest. I am not that confident in my resume. I am doing the best that I can, but I'm just feeling like no matter what I do, I'm getting no after no. And I'm holding on to faith, but that's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much all I had, right? So I'm at the career fair, and y'all, it took me everything to show up. That's another thing. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. I know you're tired. I know you don't have the clothes. I know you feel like you don't have the clothes. I know you feel like you don't have the means to get your hair done and to like look professional and sharp. Like other people, they got their starched suits and blouses, and you're just like, this is what I have. Listen, keep showing up. Keep using your university's resources. Keep showing up for yourself, because it will turn out in the end. So I told myself, I said, I'm gonna just go because I don't have a job. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be making the sacrifice to go, right? I'll just give it one last shot, okay? This was the last big career fair. FSU does 2 big career fairs, and one is Seminole Futures. I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the last Seminole Futures. I'm just going to make the sacrifice. I'm tired, but I'm just gonna pull my hair back the best way I can. I'm gonna put on these little raggedy shoes, these little ballet shoes. I'm gonna put on this same blouse and these same black pants. And I'm gonna just go and do the best that I can. And I'm gonna just show up. And I'm gonna just have faith that something good will come out of it. And my pride was shot because I was a senior, still going to the career fair. Because typically, by the time you graduate, you wanna already have your job lined up. You wanna kind of know what you're doing. And around this time, other students were getting job offers from their previous summer internship. And so a common theme in finance is to work really hard to get that big internship the summer before your senior year, because that is when those employers offer you your full-time position. So at this time, we're in the fall, a lot of my counterparts were getting offers from their dream companies at the time that I was going to a career fair that mostly had freshmen and sophomores. And I'm sure there were other juniors and seniors, but primarily freshmen and sophomores. And so you could just imagine how just emotionless, I'm just here, and I'm just gonna applaud because I'm here. And as you should, keep showing up. And so I walk in and I go to all these tables, and I find some that I like, I find most that I don't. And I hear them on the intercom saying that there's 20 minutes left. So I say, okay. So there's this little path that has like a few more tables that I haven't looked at. And I was like, oh, people were leaving. There wasn't really a lot of people in there left. I mean, this is like a really big room that we're in. So it was kind of getting barren. And I was like, I feel like I should just go home after this. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know if I should keep trying. Like, I mean, I showed up, I did my best, but I was like, you know what? I'm here. I might as well see all the tables. Like, I mean, I got nowhere to go. I don't work till tonight, so I might as well just make my way on down to and see these last 6 tables. So at the very end, I see a table, and it has management consulting, right? Now, management consulting was something that I was kind of thinking about. I knew about the industry, but I knew it was just this tough, lucrative industry to get into, and that there would just be no chance that I would actually get into it. Like, it's just so competitive. And so I said management consulting, so I said, why not? So I walk up and I talk to this young lady first. And I think I asked her a question and she wasn't really quite sure how to answer it. So she says, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk to the owner when he gets finished. And so I'm just waiting in line, once again, just kind of not really thinking much of it. And I walk up to talk to him, and he says, I know you from somewhere. And then me, you know, when I finally look up and see his face, I say, oh, I know you from somewhere too. And we're literally just standing there, almost like frozen in the air like this, saying, I know you from somewhere. And then it finally hit me. And so I said the restaurant name out loud. And I said, you go to such and such, don't you? And he said, oh, that's where I know you from. And when I tell y'all, everything changed from there. They weren't even hiring. He said, take my business card. After we had a conversation, right? Because it was 20 minutes left, so it was time to go. We had a conversation, right? And he said, take my business card and send me your resume. Now, what I learned later is that they were just taking resumes kind of just to take them, and they would star the ones that could potentially be good candidates when they were ready to hire. But he actually told me to email him my resume. So he wanted to make sure that he got my resume, okay? And they were not hiring, y'all. So we have a good conversation and I feel pretty good about it, right? I'm kind of loosened up. I done talked to like 30 tables already, so the nerves are pretty much gone. So I'm just kind of yapping away, just yap, 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 yap. And so that's how it goes. And so I go back to doing my thing, right? Weeks go by and I don't even send him the resume, y'all. I forgot to send him the resume. What happens is he comes into the restaurant and he says, "Did you send me your resume?" And I was like, "Oh no, I didn't." Like, like I completely forgot. Like, no, I didn't, but I will. But I felt so happy that he reminded me, send me a resume. Like, he didn't have to do that. Like, why would he be reminding me to send me my resume? I'm the one that need a job. And so that was good sign number one. So what happens is over the next few weeks, I end up meeting his business partner, which was the head over finance. And we talk and they say, "We like you, we want to hire you." And they give me a job offer. And later on, after I joined the company, what they told me was that every time they came in there, they always saw that I was smiling and I was just happy to serve, and I just always just did so well, and it looked like I had good relationships with a lot of different people. They could tell that the way that I served made an impact on other people. So they saw me in action serving others. Also, apparently, I had already served the entire company's Christmas party, which I did not know. I was probably too tired. I was probably strung out on hours, too tired. I had served both owners and their wives and families multiple times, and a couple of the other people that worked there. And I had no idea that these people were connected. And I had no idea that closer to them offering me the position that they were kind of scouting me. And so I say to say, you never know who is watching. That was basically a 2 to 3 year interview. A lot of people came to offer their help towards the end. They ended up asking me, "So what are your plans? Why don't you stop by?" And little old me thinking the world had came to an end. It hadn't. It had just begun. And so I say this to say, if you are a working college student, do not lose hope. Keep showing up, keep being the superstar that you are, keep striving for a better future, because it will count. It always counts. Just keep showing up. You got this, you can do this. And I'm extremely proud of you. And I know it's gonna work out for you like how it did for me. I say that to say that if you are in a position that I was in, to really take advantage of those unique opportunities that you have, if you have a serving job or if you have some other kind of college job, really use that as an opportunity to shine and be personable. And you never know who's willing to give you the opportunity when it comes up and who thinks of your name. Now that I'm in the job, am I happy? How was the workload? Are the hours really long? I will say, yes, I am happy. I love the work that I do. As I mentioned earlier in the video, no day is the same. I absolutely love the learning opportunities that I have at my hands. I get to rub shoulders with accountants, financial analysts, CFOs, CEOs, directors, chiefs, any and everybody that I could ever want to ask advice from or learn something from. I am around them every single day. And yeah, I absolutely love my job. And I love that the impact that I make, I get to see firsthand. As far as the hours, I will say I've worked as little as 4 hours a day to 12 hours a day. So it really just depends. However, that is not the norm for me. I work at a boutique management consulting firm. And so I would say at this time, on average, I work 8-hour days, and it is very manageable. And I don't work weekends. There are times that I have, but that is not normal. And that was also client specific. As far as the learning curve, it is very steep. You are expected to be able to work independently from time to time. There are times when you're just expected to do your best, and if it's great, it's great. If it's not, then that's fine. You do it again. And so I will say for me, it is a lot, but it is manageable and it is doable. That is something to keep in mind, that the learning curve is steep in management consulting. That's kind of what it's known for, and it's known for its long work hours. But as I just mentioned, in my case, I work 8 hours a day. I don't work on the weekends for the most part, and I have a lot of support. So I would say those stereotypes have some truth to them, but it does depend on the company and the industry that you're consulting in. Lastly, exit opportunities. This year, I'm gonna be doing a lot more reflecting on the work that I do and getting a good idea for what I like and don't like after doing it for 9 months. Even though I don't quite know how I would exit my consulting career just yet. I know that I have a lot of opportunities. I can either further my education, like I would probably go back and get a master's in accounting. I know there are opportunities to transition to private equity or venture capital, maybe other kinds of in-house consulting. Yeah, once again, the skills that you learn in consulting are highly transferable. Just to read off a couple: problem solving, communication, analytical thinking, adaptability, client relationship management, project management, data analysis, presentation. All of these are on point. I have to engage with these skills every day at my job. And so I will say that if you aren't sure of what you want to do, definitely look into consulting, give it a chance, give it a year, and just see if it's something that you may be interested in, because you never know. You never know. Now, if you are interested in consulting and you are entry level and or a young professional, I recommend researching those and applying for the ones that suit you. Show up and show your face. That is the number one advice that I will give you in any recruiting process, really. At the end of the day, these are people that are looking to hire. And while a perfect resume is great, you can get those anywhere nowadays. And what employers really want to know is, what is your personality like? Are you personable? Are you able to add something? That is really what they're looking for nowadays. Introducing yourself in person, having the recruiters know you by name and face personally is going to help you a ton, because even if you aren't right for that position, they would be much more willing to help you find another position. That tip alone can actually be a whole video, because there are so many opportunities out there that I didn't know were out there for undergrad students. So yeah, that has been my experience so far as a management consultant. I hope me sharing my experience helped you even in the slightest bit. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. I wish you the best on your recruiting journey and process, and I'll see you in the next video.